Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about an article from the Washington Post, and the title of the article is "As Obesity Rises, Big Food and Dietitians Push Anti-Diet Advice," and then subtitle is General Mills warns of food shaming, dietitian influencers promote junk foods and discourage weight loss efforts. Now, a good chunk of this article we've actually already talked about in a video talking about different, anti-diet dietitians getting paid by General Mills to promote their certain cereals and stuff like that. So that's a whole video. But there is a personal story inside of this article that I think illustrates exactly things that I have said for a while about the anti-diet movement and the issues that I have with it. And so without further ado, let's kind of just read that section of the article. Again, majority of this article is stuff that we already talked about, so we're going to be skipping through it. But the first part and then a little bit later is what we are going to be focused on. So Jay Rochon struggled to lose weight for years, but she felt as if a burden had lifted when she discovered YouTube influencers advocating health at every size. Whenever it says discovered YouTube influencers, run away, all right? That's coming from a YouTube influencer. Advocating health at every size, urging her to stop dieting and start listening to her mental hunger. She stopped avoiding favorite foods such as cupcakes and Nutella. They made me feel like I was safe eating whatever the hell I wanted, said Rochon, 51, a video editor in Wausau, Wisconsin. I'm probably saying that wrong. In 2 months, she regained 50 pounds. As her weight neared 300 pounds, she began to worry about her health. The videos that Rochon encountered are part of the anti-diet movement, a social media juggernaut that has begun as an effort to combat weight stigma and an unhealthy obsession with thinness, but now global food marketers are seeking to cash in on that trend. So this part right here and all this stuff under is stuff that we talked about, but this is Jay right here. What a lovely young lady. And so this is who we're going to be talking about. Now, when it comes to just to kind of make my, like how I feel about anti-diet and stuff like that, I've actually been a fan of, I don't really like calling it intuitive eating anymore because that's turned into such a term that has a lot of baggage with it, and so I don't use that. But currently I do what I call mindful eating. The reason I call it mindful eating is because a lot of the stuff that intuitive eating or anti-diet people talk about is what I employ in how I eat. So what do I mean by that? So basically, I don't track macros. I don't track calories. I just eat what I think I want and what I feel that my body will enjoy. But the reason that I am able to do that is because I spent a very long time, or a few years at least, tracking my macros, learning about what sits well in my body, fixing that relationship with food, and getting to a point where I can go out to eat and make a pretty solid choice. Or even if I don't make a solid choice, I'm not beating myself up or being like, well, you know what? I already made that wrong decision, so I might as well have a bunch of other wrong decisions. I understand that took a lot of time and effort. And I also understand now that I am a nutrition coach and I have clients that I would not expect those people that I'm working with to be where I am at. I understand that there are steps that you need to take to get there. And that's what I'm working on, is getting people to that position. And I'm not even saying that when we're done working together, they'll be able to do it, right? Because it's not like we're going to be working together for years and years and years. But at least when the people that are done working with me, they will feel like they know which way to go, instead of just being like, no, don't track anything. Like any sort of tracking is an eating disorder, and it's bad, and it's terrible, and you should feel bad about it because, oh my God, I can't believe that you weighed that thing out. There are certain people that weighing things out or just like avoiding certain things is necessary for a season in your life. And making people feel like there is something wrong with them or it is disordered for tracking those things, or being like, you know what? Maybe I need to avoid Nutella. I've had enough for 40 years. Maybe I need to avoid it for a bit and then come back at a later date and reevaluate my relationship with the Nutella. It is so unbelievably frustrating when people act like anyone can just heal their relationship with food by just allowing themselves to eat it. And the thing that's the most frustrating to me almost is that when it comes to this anti-diet stuff, they basically make it seem that the only reason people struggle with their weight is because of the shame they feel eating the certain foods. That's just not true, man. Like that, I don't know how to explain it. Like, yes, of course, when I was bigger, I felt some shame, but that was not the leading contributing factor to me eating McDonald's way too much. It was because I liked McDonald's. And so I would eat McDonald's. And I would eat a lot of it. I've talked about this many times. 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, a large fry, a large drink, sometimes chicken nuggets, right? Now that's a very expensive meal, but when I was doing it, it was not as expensive as it is now. So it was very accessible, very easy, very delicious, and so that was a staple in my diet. I wasn't eating that much because when I ordered one, I would think, oh my God, the shame is so strong in me. I might as well just eat more and more. No, it was because one wasn't enough in my head and I needed two. And then I needed two. It's just so frustrating. It's like the only reason people struggle with their weight is because of the shame connected to these foods. That is, I'm sure, a reason why some people do, but it is not the reason everyone does. But let me get off my high horse or off my soapbox, and let's continue a little bit later in the article. Scrolling way down, we have at the pretty much the bottom of this article, misled by anti-diet messages. Rashawn said she initially embraced a new ideology about nutrition after years of struggling with binge eating, weight loss efforts, and hunger. Some of what she heard was based in fact. Studies show that restrictive dieting can significantly slow metabolism, a condition that can persist for years. Rashawn grew to believe that restricting food in any fashion would put her health in danger. Listening to mental hunger meant that if she was thinking about food, she should eat it. I think a lot of us that have struggled with with the, it's a popular term now, the food noise, would know that maybe that's not the best advice to give to someone, right? Your relationship with food would just get magically healed if you just ate the donuts and ate the cookies and weren't afraid of what you were eating, Rashawn said. As her weight increased, it began to take a toll. The risk of humiliation while navigating crowds or fitting into seats made her afraid of going out. When she attended a concert with her brother, climbing a flight of stairs was so difficult that it stole my joy, she said. As my body got bigger and bigger and bigger, it felt like my life just shrunk, Rashawn said. Rashawn said health concerns prompted her to start watching YouTube videos that challenged what she described as the indoctrination of the anti-diet and fat acceptance movements. I'm definitely out of the movement, she said. A few months ago, Rashawn started her own YouTube channel, which has about 125 subscribers, in which she discusses her experience and her ongoing efforts to find a sustainable approach to nutrition. I don't want my parents to bury me, she said. Wow. Jacob May, a dietitian and nutrition researcher at Pennington Biomedical Research Center in Louisiana, said Rashawn's story is not unique. He said some of his clients have gained as much as 60 pounds in 6 months while working with anti-diet dietitians. Yeah, great job, guys. The dietitians. It led them into the largest weight of their life, May said. The downside from a health perspective is exacerbating their obesity and potentially making worse their risk of other nutrition-based diseases, right? And that's the end of the article there. And that's exactly my point when I talk about this. It's really frustrating because, I've said this a million times, the information that some of these anti-diet dietitians can give certainly can help a specific person, but that's basically where it ends. It helps a specific person, and it is not a blanket thing that's going to fix every issue for every person. It's very frustrating because it almost does feel a little condescending that, oh, just, listen to your hunger. Like, anyone that says that with a straight face, I'm convinced they have never struggled with, like, being addicted to food and genuinely feeling lost and like there's nothing it is just it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating because it feels like it is so divorced from reality, and stuff like this only makes people that have struggled with their weight for any length of time, that have tried to lose weight over and over again, feel like there is just absolutely no hope for them, right? Because, they tried this diet and it didn't work. They tried this diet, it didn't work. And then they tried to do this anti-diet thing that, everyone's saying is the best thing in the world and it solved all everyone's issues. And they tried it and they end up gaining 60 pounds, right? And they're in a worse place than they were at the start. I think it's really enticing because I think why it's so bad as well is because it really preys on that feeling of just wanting to be like accepted and not have to, try all these different things. And I don't know, it's the perfect mix of, diet culture, right? Making people so frustrated with dieting and trying to lose weight. And then they go from that extreme to this extreme where it's like, oh, I'm just going to eat everything. And that's why I hate both sides as much, because they just get people to go from this extreme to this extreme. And they're at this extreme. They're like, oh, this isn't it. I'm going to go to this extreme. And at this extreme, this isn't it. I'm going to go to this extreme. And the pendulum just swings. And then people that are making content that's really more in the middle, it just gets lost in translation. It gets lost in the noise because there's so much more enticing information out there. Lose 60 pounds in 2 months, or eat whatever you want and still lose weight. Don't worry about it. When you're kind of in the middle being like, hey man, I don't really agree with both of those. People are like, shut up. That's what it feels like at least. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But I just wanted to share this. Story. I thought that it really encapsulated everything that I've kind of talked about when it comes to the anti-diet movement. And so thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. I'll make sure that I find Jay's YouTube channel and I will link it down here in the comment section so you guys can check it out if you want to. And yeah, show her some love. I'm sure she would appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.